CD Projekt Red have revealed even more information about Cyberpunk 2077, which should still be coming out in November. The latest Night City Wire introduced us to the world of Cyberpunk Night City. This includes the districts and also the gangs. And as we have done videos here on the channel for both of these subjects, I didn't want to do a full in-depth video talking about both of these all over again. But there is some new information, so I thought I might as well wrap it up all in this video. Before I do get into the video, if you do want to see more content, maybe even just see a bit of Cyberpunk live when it does finally drop in November, then there is a link in the description down below which will take you over to the Twitch channel. I currently stream every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I predominantly play Red Dead Online, but as soon as Cyberpunk drops, that will all be changing. So the latest episode of the Night City Wire provided us information about the city, which includes the districts and the gangs. We did get a trailer for Night City, and it talks about how the crime rate has doubled, how homelessness is up by 300%, and it went in depth about the different districts. And this information is stuff that we already knew. This is part of the Cyberpunk lore. This is also stuff that CD Projekt Red themselves have tweeted out, and it has also been included in other trailers. But when talking about this, CD Projekt Red went a bit deeper. Firstly, they started off by saying every street in the game is labeled, and this just goes to show how in-depth the world is. We knew that districts were broken down into sub-districts, but now those sub-districts are also broken down into road names. And they used an example of this, of how you find something special on a certain street. Not only is the characters now going to be talking about it in-game about that certain event, but it also means that you can go to your friends to talk about how on a certain street a certain event happened. This just adds to the immersion. There was extra emphasis on verticality yet again. We keep seeing this over and over again from CD Projekt Red, where they say it's not like The Witcher, where you can see a building or a hill in the distance and you can head towards it. The city is so much more closer. Maybe you might have that effect when you travel in the Badlands, but whilst in the city centre, the exploration is completely different. There are different levels to the city, and as you're walking around, going through alleyways, going around corners, you might come across an elevator, which will then take you up a level. Maybe once you do get to a high enough level, that's when you get a view. That's when you can see something in the distance and tell yourself that you want to head to there. But whilst in these lower levels, your field of view isn't going to be that far. It's much more close encountered. So this means that exploration is handled very differently to The Witcher. The next talking point was the gangs of Night City. They went over the Maelstrom, the Valentinos, the Sixth Street, the Voodoo Boys, the Animals, the Tiger Claws, the Moxes, the Wraiths and the Aldecados, all of which we've gone through before. We've talked about every single gang very in depth within the video that you are now seeing on screen. So if you do want to see more information about the gangs within Night City, there is a link to that in the description down below, as well as there'll be a card on screen right now. If you click that, it'll take you directly to that video. But building on this, we do have some more information. A question was raised whether or not V can actually join one of these gangs, and the short answer is no. Simply put, gangs won't trust V, as V is a mercenary. Gangs will see V as not being committed to the cause of whatever that gang is pushing for. And instead you're more in it for the money and for the glory. But if you are still wanting to be part of a group of people, whether it be a gang, whether it be a club, V can still be part of that. It's just not these gangs in particular. Because as a mercenary, V will have access to the Afterlife Bar, and this is pretty much an elite club for the legendary mercenaries. As a mercenary as well, V will still work with these gangs. These gangs can hire V, and by doing these quests for these different types of gangs, you will be able to unlock different type of content. You can get exclusive weapons, vehicles, clothing, all by doing quests for these gangs. And we also know, as this is an RPG, that there will be some elements where you have to do something for one gang which hurts another gang. So this will ruin your credibility for that gang, and we also know that you can actually completely get rid of a gang within an area. So even though V cannot actually join one of these gangs, there's still a lot that you can do by doing missions for them, by doing quests for them, by coming across them within the world of Night City and just stumbling across them. and then as a reward for interacting with these quests and missions and completing the work that you're supposed to do, you will get exclusive content. With the latest episode of the Night City Wire, CD Projekt Red also revealed a website. This website is called nightcity.love. And this provides a lot of information about Night City. This includes the history of the city, breaking down who Richard Knight was and his story, talking about transportation, talking about the different districts within the world, having a gallery, as well as there's ad pop-ups which just give you a bit more information about what type of things the corporation do within Cyberpunk. And even though this has only just been announced, there's not too much new information here. I'm sure as we get closer and closer to the release, there will be little bits of teasers, little bits of information which CD Projekt Red will reveal as we get closer to the release. And this will just hype up the community even more. And then finally, the last bit of information that we had, probably the biggest bit of information that we had out of this Night City Wire, is the specs if you're going to be getting Cyberpunk on PC. A few weeks ago, we did have rumors that Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be 200 gigabytes. And if you didn't listen to the clickbait titles from different news articles, you would understand that that's not the case. But obviously, those clickbait titles did go around and it did get a lot of people panicked. Now we've actually heard it from CD Projekt Red themselves. On screen you are seeing the specs for if you're getting Cyberpunk on PC. This has already been heavily thrown around the past couple days, so I'm not going to be going too in depth about it. But the biggest thing that I do want to talk about is just the storage space. And that is just because a couple weeks ago there were rumors talking about it's going to be 200 gigabytes. It's not. It's 70 gigabytes, which is absolutely insane considering how big this game is. We've seen games over the last year, maybe even 2 years, exceed an extreme amount of storage. And for how big this game is, it's kind of amazing that they've nailed it down just to 70 gigabytes. You can get this on a hard drive, but it is recommended on an SSD. But that is all the information to do with the latest Night City Wire for Cyberpunk 2077. We are now only 2 months away from the release of Cyberpunk, and there is going to be an episode 4 of Night City Wire. So we have that to look forward to in the next couple weeks. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. As said at the beginning, if you do want to see any more content from me, all the links can be found in the description down below, including the Red Dead Online channel and also the Twitch streams. Anything that I reference to do with other videos can also be found in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.